Okay, guys, so obviously you're gonna get to see my face for a little bit, and I'm gonna hand it off to David. David's probably gonna sound a lot smarter, but overall, we're gonna talk today about Media Archive, and I'd like to tell a story first. So obviously, you know this guy. You ever work around a news organization, when something amazing happens? Joe Biden was elected. Joe Biden made that decision to go to Europe to talk about how we can help, right? All those things happen, but they make an amazing moment. They make that moment that changes history. All those moments that change history are built on a very, very long career where Joe has been, building this for a very long time. That news organization now needs to go and get every single bit of content. They need to get every petabytes of content, and they need to build a sizzle reel. They need to build that sizzle reel. Now, the big thing is they need it for the 6 o'clock news. And it's 4 o'clock right now, right? So we don't have time. The problem is, while we have all of this content, if you go to C-SPAN, you see over 4,000 available video pieces coming just from C-SPAN. Every other organization has their own 4,000 pieces. You gotta figure it out. You gotta find it. You got 2 hours to do it. What are you gonna do? So the problem is you've got all your video in boxes like this, in tapes like that. How many you think, how many of those boxes and how many of those labels, how many you think are the right labels? How many of the sticky notes fell off and now they're, now there's something else, right? So you got a lot of human workflows. You got metadata that's not there. You got file names on those tapes that you have no clue what they mean. You've got all of these physical sources that now have to be digitized, and you've got metadata atrophy. You're not there. So we really, we have 2 hours, and we're gonna pull out from these boxes, right? We have to get everything to the point where we're moving more around getting things off tape, moving it into things that are instantly available, like S3, and we want to have a big database, like the Nomad team, like the Let. We need a database of where everything is down to the frame, so our editors can build that sizzle reel. Luckily, we have some tools here. In the technology industry, we've got computer vision, we've got language tools. We could talk about finding every moment where Joe Biden has been over the last 30 years of his career. We can find every involvement where we helped the Ukraine. We could talk about getting down to the word that each person said and have that in our metadata index. And that's all done through tools like recognition, tools like transcription, tools that are going to get you the data you need to figure out what's important to you now. So again, we've got things like find me a person, find me the words, find me what I'm talking about in each of these contents. So how do we bring it all together? AWS has been talking about we've been talking about a content lake for the last couple of years. Content lake is effectively taking everything we've learned about data and bringing to video and audio content. We want things that are going to create the accessibility instantly. We want that video now. We don't want it 5 hours from now. We want it absolutely now. We want to be able to search on it based on individual, unique key elements. We want to look for Joe Biden. We want to look for, Joe Biden sitting on the Senate floor, and we want to be able to contextually identify that. We also don't want to have millions of human beings identify and classify that content. We don't have enough people in the world to take the 100 years of video content that we've been producing and say what is what, right? We need that to be done by computer. We want to identify things that are going to talk about licensing rules. We want to be able to take away the idea of where we're allowed to use it, and let the content lake, handle that for us. And then we want to be able to have options for growth, because we don't know, we don't know who's going to be the next NBA superstar. We don't know who's going to be the next president. We need the options to be able to look for it at every stage, and then we also need to be able to secure it. So, case in point, we've got National Geographic. National Geographic worked with Disney, and they created National Geographic Partners. They came in, they took all of the video back to 1880, ran it through AWS, through a media supply chain, ran completely serverlessly, not a single computer they needed to manage, ran it with our recognition tool, ran it with our machine learning tools, and they got an index that you can search on their app, everything since 1880, every single content that you can pull up, you can see it in your app. C-SPAN did the same thing. They went back to 1986 for every single thing they've ever aired, and you can pull those video clips of anything on the Senate floor, download it, and within a couple hours, you're all set to build your next clip. So how do we go back and how do we build that sizzle reel? In common day world, we're going to have a ton of assets. It's going to be stored. We're going to have a MAM that's going to have basic metadata. We're going to ask the MAM for, give me everything with Joe Biden. And we're going to get a list of 5,000 things. We're going to get images. We're going to get video. We're going to get those 5,000 things, and we got to get a massive number of people to go curate. They're going to curate from proxy media. Proxy media, of course, smaller, usable, editable media that we're able to use for, content curation, for screening, for the basic. How do we pick what we want to use? They're gonna curate it. They're going to do their basic edits. They're going to QC. They're going to make sure it meets the messaging. And then down the line, as we're doing this, we're pulling all the full res. We're going back to tape. We're going back to longer term archive storage. We're pulling it back, and at some point later, we're gonna get back to having all the content. We're gonna render against it. We'll do another QC session, and finally we get to air. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of hurry up and wait. It's a lot of lots of people doing things that machines can do. So we come down to S3, and David's going to give you a lot more information about how S3 is going to be helpful for overall in your storage, in your archive. But I want to talk to you about a new tier that we introduced this last November, Glacier Instant Retrieval. S3 Glacier Instant Retrieval is going to give you archive quality storage. 11 nines worth of durability. We will make sure it's there. We're going to make sure it's right. We're going to give you your digital fixity checks when you drop it when you drop it into your platform. But most of all, we're going to give you instant access without having to wait hours and hours. You're not going to get to go back to tape. You're not going to have to wait for proxy quality. You're going to get access to full res here and now, and it's at the cost probably cheaper than what you're paying for tape right now. So if we take a look at this, we simplify, right? Now we're able to get everything out of our MAM. We've got all that wonderful machine learning, metadata created, harvested. We know everything that's there. We're able to curate clips directly from that, and we're able to directly edit from that full res. No double QCs, no lower quality to go to air. We instantly get to that point where we're hitting the breaking news. So at 6 o'clock news, we now have a faster development of storylines, so we're better storytellers. We've got a simplified workflow. Obviously we got less people involved, we have less steps, we have less QCs, and we're getting to air faster. we're eliminating all of the storage delays. We're eliminating that tape wait. And now we've got online storage at tape prices that we don't need to wait for tape. We don't need people managing tape. And quite frankly, we don't have that time where the stories that we're pushing turn into history before it's news. So with that, I'm going to give it over to David, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about the platform. Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome, Peter. Thank you. Peter set us up to look at the art of the possible, which I'm going to go a little deeper into now, to reveal the hidden value of media archives. So, I'm David Selleck. I'm a media and entertainment storage specialist. And what I'd like to do is basically reveal something, although in the traditional sense, it's not a magic act of the reveal, which is something you can do a lot here in Vegas. But what we can do here is provide 3 key insights for you to take away about the possibilities of archiving when you reinvent your thought process about the art of the possible. I'll start with a review of traditional media archive processes from a business point of view. Next, I'll discuss opportunities revealed when you reconsider how to work with your archive. I'll introduce new AWS storage classes, as Peter just touched on. And then finally, I'll close with a call to action. We would like your help to make the art of the possible with new archives come to fruition. So first, let's begin with the business of traditional media archives. In the previous presentation, Peter talked about the constraints that occur from cumbersome archive restoration mechanisms. When your metadata is constrained, your knowledge of your content is restricted. We'd like to unlock that. But first of all, it helps to understand why we archive in the first place. So it starts, as Peter pointed out, with relevancy. Being able to connect the past to today helps us tell stories, which is something we as media creators are passionate about. Archives provide opportunities for us to bring people together. We create relationships with our customers by using our creative tools to display and explain present-day events and connect those events to the past via our archives. And we visualize how we get there by using our creative tools to imagine and display present-day events and connect them to the past through our archives. The next aspect of this is looking at archiving from the business point of view. Managing archives has traditionally been a cost center approach. It's all about the business getting more from less, including at the investment level of less. So the benefits of traditional archiving have mostly been extracted from the use of tape. We acknowledge that. There are 2 main benefits that tape brings to the table. The first is low cost per terabyte, and the fact that that cost can be amortized over years. The second benefit is tape can offer fast performance if the assets requested are next to each other on the tape. However, there are several constraints involved. The first has to do with retrieving files from tape. There's the time to restore element in that, and that can vary from minutes to hours to even days. And when that's existing, you have to consider how do creatives respond if they cannot get their creative assets in time, because the time to that asset can be variable. The other challenge is maintaining an archive, especially a large one. There's maintenance costs, yearly renewal costs, and there are also component costs. Maintaining that equipment sometimes when mechanics break, and being able to have spare parts, additional cost, to put that in, which may delay artists and creatives getting access to archive content. The next archive challenge is one of my favorite phrases. There's what you don't know about what you don't know. Most archive content insights occur at the time the asset went into the archive. there's the possibility to enhance that archive process after the fact. But as Peter illustrated, much of the archive metadata we apply at time of ingest is either tape name or event name. And it takes additional effort to apply more metadata at the point of ingest manually after the fact. This means we end up with truncated metadata, very minimal. How do we improve upon that? The ability to pull archive content into the present has everything to do with our knowledge of the way we described it from the past. To know more about content archives requires us to revisit those archives and apply more metadata operations against it if we have the tools to do so. So how do we overcome archive constraints? First of all, for running tape archives, you need organized systems. Connecting together the MAM system, which is the interface by which artists will find assets, which makes calls to the tape system to be able to restore those assets and place them on storage systems for artists to use in their storytelling. That process incorporates the very key elements of how tape works. It's asynchronous, which means it's linear. An asset pulled from tape will come off that tape as fast as it takes to find it and then read it. 5 assets read from tape are read sequentially because tape is linear. Being able to pull multiple assets off of multiple tapes requires multiple mechanisms, which drives up archive cost. There's pressure on operations to support multiple archive recall requests from multiple tapes during breaking news and other creative events where there are time dependencies to get access to those high-res assets. In the past 6 to 8 years, the other aspect has to do with how do you address that time to first byte, that response to a lot of assets quickly. And over the past 6 to 8 years, a lot of organizations have taken advantage of nearline NAS and object storage systems on premise in order to be able to provide more access more quickly to those high-res assets. If an outage ever occurred, however, the operation and the business had to determine how do we respond to that. Like most anybody else, people back up their data because they've experienced the pain of losing data. Now imagine you're an organization with a large archive and you lose access to that data. Operations will change and business will invest in multiple sites, in additional mechanisms and infrastructure in order to support higher availability to avoid the pain of an outage. Because it's not a matter of if, but Werner Vogels teaches us, it's a matter of when. Infrastructure will fail you, and how does your organization respond to that? So many orgs have learned to stand up additional infrastructure, additional data centers. Managing all of this infrastructure is not fun. So fundamentally, we're starting to run against the main business principle of how archives should be managed, based on the price principle of doing more with less. So how do we reveal opportunities within archives? It's about improving archive agility. Customers are conditioned, all of us in this room at this point as customers, we are conditioned to instant response from the technology we use to see and experience the media we want to get. We are not conditioned well to delay anymore. As providers of media experiences, we should deliver the best experience to our customers, which means getting that content to them when they want it, in the form they want it. So the process of archiving and retrieval from archive, we can describe this in 2 ways. There's known and unknown access patterns. When content has been displayed on a device, on a platform, in a broadcast, and it is no longer actively being used, that is a known access pattern to drive it down into archive programmatically. And when that asset is being planned for reuse, such as a holiday event, you can schedule to pull that back up. Programmatic known access patterns restoring from archive. It's when another asset gets requested because of breaking news that puts stress on archive restoration systems to respond aggressively, quickly, to the hot demand. So how does an archive environment cost effectively and with the right agility support known and unknown access patterns? So now I'd like to go back to the slide Peter talked about and showed, which is I'd like to discuss new AWS storage classes. We've been hearing from a lot of customers that they are looking for more agile ways to work with their archives, and they inspired us to create new Amazon S3 archive storage tiers. As Peter pointed out, on November of 2021, we introduced a new archive storage class. After 15 years of having Amazon S3 in the market, we expanded it with S3 Glacier Instant Retrieval. With this new offering, what we did was recognize customers are looking for two things. They're looking for the cost efficiency of Glacier, but with the high performance and low millisecond access of Amazon S3. So we took that request and we came up with something that crosses over the performance and millisecond benefit access of Amazon S3, but we put it in the framework of Amazon S3 Glacier. The benefits of this are manyfold. First, millisecond access. It's the same performance you get out of any Amazon S3 standard tier. Millisecond response. With all of the durability, 11 nines, and availability, 99.9% available today that Amazon S3 standard offers. Additionally, it has all the benefits of being a Glacier service class. So let's look more closely at what that means. So when we look at how do we accomplish low-cost, high-performance archives, let's take a deeper dive into Amazon S3 Glacier. We previously had Glacier sitting here in the middle, and when we introduced our new storage tier, we launched it at the exact same price point as Glacier. In the process, by having that same price, it has millisecond access, which Glacier never had. We then took Glacier itself and renamed it Amazon S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval. We lowered the price by 10%. And in the process, we made bulk retrievals from Amazon S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval free. We still have Amazon S3 Glacier Deep Archive for the absolute lowest cost Deep Archive storage tier for media assets that have known access patterns that are not under pressure for quick restoration. At the same time, there's an additional thing that we did at the launch in November of 2021. When we launched Glacier Instant Retrieval, we recognized we have another Amazon S3 offering called Intelligent Tiering. Intelligent Tiering takes assets in S3 Standard and after 30 days ages them to S3 Infrequent Access and does that automatically. The data never moves in your bucket. It's done with no user intervention required. In the process, when we launched Glacier Instant Retrieval, we added it to Amazon S3 Intelligent Tiering, and we named it S3 Archive Instant Access. This means there's another tier. When assets are on infrequent access for more than 90 days, they will age automatically lower to Archive Instant Access. Again, there's no decision or action you have to take to enable this benefit. And the benefits can be dramatic. One customer in the month of December experienced multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars of savings in 1 month because their Intelligent Tiering bucket automatically moved a lot of data from their infrequent access tier to Archive Instant Access. And they were astonished at the savings. They had no reconfiguration in their MAM, no workflow adjustments necessary to experience these savings. There's two other things I want to touch on when thinking about archiving in AWS. In media and entertainment, data integrity means everything. In fact, we've had customers tell us, I will not put archives into AWS unless you can assure me that the bytes don't change when I place them. Integrity is paramount, in fact. So in February, we launched 4 new hash check algorithms that you can apply at time of uploading your data into Amazon S3. SHA-1 and SHA-256, as well as CRC32 and CRC32C. The benefits are amazing. In fact, we're most excited about the performance. SHA-1 is 90% faster than MD5 as an upload process to validate and hash your uploads. So for customers with camera original production data and bonded contracts and agreements to ensure that data never changes, we now offer 4 new additional ways to validate every byte that you upload into Amazon S3. Any layer of the S3 bucket range of our tiers, including our new Glacier Instant Retrieval. We're really excited about this additional security validation to ensure your bytes are exactly the way you place them at the time of upload. And Peter touched on this, but I want to go a little deeper into this other additional cool piece of technology we have. It's a solution called Media to Cloud. We built this solution to do 2 main things. First, provide additional pre-built tooling taking advantage of AWS Elemental and 4 main AWS AI/ML services. You see here, recognition, comprehend, textract, transcribe. You can turn on or off one or more of these AI/ML services to examine the content in your archives in AWS to gain additional metadata insights. All of this metadata insight that is extracted out of your archive assets can be piped or driven into any major MAM that you would see here at this trade show here at NAB. In fact, most of those MAM vendors are AWS partners today. And you can, with Media to Cloud, drive that new metadata enhanced awareness into your MAM automatically. But what's cool is you don't necessarily need a MAM. If you don't have a MAM yet, you can still use Media to Cloud. And in the process, you can take its user interface to upload data into AWS via the Media to Cloud interface and have one or more of those AI/ML tooling operations performed and AWS Elemental to perform the proxy generation and additional optimizations on your media to begin your archive journey. As customers, you can now recognize the benefits of the cloud and leverage this power and capability and turn it on or off in a very elastic way to expand your insights into your media to exactly the degree necessary to support your business goals. So now I want to bring this all together to help you modernize your archive strategies. With AWS, your archive can now deliver against that core business principle of delivering more for less. We do this by changing the concept of how you look at archive. It's no longer a cost center. It's an opportunity to rethink how content can become leverage to give better stories and experiences to your customers. And those customers can be end user consumers. They can be business partners. We have customers that have taken advantage of the tooling and the AWS cloud to go into their archives and relicense that content at scale to generate new revenue streams for their business. You'd be surprised the demand that's in there if the content is well tagged, because AI/ML tooling can give you better insights into the value of what you have and make it repurposable in stories today. So ultimately, it comes down to accessing our archives faster. And that's exactly Glacier Instant Retrieval's goal. So making archives available in an instant. It's about putting your data to work, as Peter talked about, in a media data lake. The concept of a media data lake is to think about it as more awareness of your content, so your content is more actively being used by artists, by the business, by partners, and ultimately by your consumers through your platform and your brand. And it ultimately results in taking advantage of now, with Glacier Instant Retrieval, the fastest archive, coupled with what is already the lowest cost archive, with the complete suite of the Amazon S3 Glacier service. So here's my call to action to you, for everybody here attending. I want you to look for opportunities within your archives to simplify the cost management profile. And consider S3 Intelligent Tiering with its automated way to migrate data based on usage and access patterns to be cost optimized with no action on your part. I would like you to engage your MAM partners to have them take advantage of Glacier Instant Retrieval. And here's an actual personal ask. We need your help to get these partners, these MAM vendors, to embrace Amazon S3 Glacier Instant Retrieval so that you can take advantage of it inside of your workflows and your businesses. So I seek your help to engage our MAM partners and help them help you by embracing Glacier Instant Retrieval. Finally, taking advantage of the fact that we have tooling both with partners as well as our own AWS Data Sync and Direct Connect to very quickly migrate archives and begin the process of reinventing your archive journey with AWS. And finally, talking to the creatives and helping them imagine better stories because of the possibility of media available exactly when they are inspired to create. The workflows are no longer built around the latency of waiting for assets to be restored from tape if there's breaking news. Instead, creativity is as broad and as fast as your access to archives in milliseconds. So think about the origin stories that we can create with new archives approaches and more insights to our assets with the AI/ML tooling that we bring. Thank you for sitting into our story. We're very excited to take any additional questions. Really appreciate your time and have a great NAB, everyone.